WHAV is on Facebook. For quick access, visit WHAV.net and click on the Facebook icon.
Catch the wave!
This is Jim Hightower, asking you to listen to my Little Pops of Populism 3 times a day, right here on WHAV. Only local radio at its finest. WHAV brings you this populist feature. So catch the wave, and you'll catch my commentaries. Thank you.
Wave weather!
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with wave weather. We'll have thickening clouds headed through the night. There could be a rain or snow shower by daybreak. Temperatures 30 to 35. Then on Tuesday, a few rain showers in the morning. A little wet snow may mix in. Either way, no accumulation expected. There could be some late day sun. Highs near 45. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, a low close to 20. We go into Wednesday with a good deal of sunshine. Maybe an isolated flurry. It'll be breezy with a high of 30. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
I guess this would be St. Patrick's Day Eve. Is that right? I'm Tim Coco. This is the Open Mic Show. Nathan E. Webster III is in master control. Anyone going to the Haverhill Exchange Club St. Patrick's Day breakfast tomorrow? I'm sure some of you are. Nate, are you going? You're not an exchangeite, but a lot of Kiwanians are going. Are you still a Kiwanian? All right. So, St. Patrick's Day. We have no particular theme for the night, but I am wearing green for a reason. So let's hear any of your St. Patrick's Day commentaries tonight. Open lines all night on the Open Mic Show. I have a few themes we can start with, but let's start with the basics first of all. WHAV is on the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're not hearing it where you are, then how about going to the World Wide Web? WHAV.net on your computer or smartphone. Now you can also, I don't know what our status is on Channel 22. We were told last week, you may have read it at WHAV.net or heard Dana Esmo on the news, but for the time being, WHAV's audio is not on Channel 22 unless that's changed in the last few days. That is so that they can play a couple CDs of beach music. We won't comment on that. All right, but you can listen to WHAV.net 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can also tell you that for the most part, we are on in Andover, Channel 8, Methuen, Channels 8 and 22 on Comcast, Channel 32 on Verizon Fios, Plasto, Channel 17 and 23, Sandown, New Hampshire, Channel 17. The Open Mic Show is on for the next 2 hours with video at WHAV.TV on your computer or smartphone, and also on Haverhill Community Television Channel 22. Our thanks go out to the whole team at Channel 22 for enabling this broadcast. If you want to interact with this program, and I heartily encourage you to do so, call 978-374-1900. 978-374-1900. Haverhill's only regular call-in program. You can email me if you're shy and don't want to talk on the air. News, tips, commentary, all welcome. You can email me directly at tcoco, T-C-O-C-O, at WHAV.net, or very easy, there is a message board below the TV screen at WHAV.tv. TV, and you can write in some comments there. There are some old comments. I'll try to have those removed before too long. All right, so those are the basics. Now, there are plenty of prizes every week right here on the Open Mic Show, and we have some old ones and some new ones. Let's start with the new one. All right, we're going to be giving away tickets tonight while they last to the Haverhill Police All-Star Game versus the All-Pro Patriot Celebrity Softball Team. That all takes place June 8th at Haverhill Stadium. These tickets have a value of $20 each. Yours free tonight. This hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by Haverhill Bank. Just one bank. Thank you, Nate. All right. Now, what should we do to give these away? We could give them away just for your calling and being the first to call. We could ask trivia questions, although we do have a tough one out there already. I'll tell you what. If you make a contribution to WHAV's Make Waves campaign, just go to WHAV.net and click on any picture of Tom Bergeron you find. That'll probably take you to the place where you can contribute. But in order for you to get this ticket, maybe you should let us know. So call 978-374-1900. Make a pledge of any amount to WHAV's Make Waves campaign. That is the effort to put the new FM radio station on the air at 97.9 on your FM dial. Anyone who makes a contribution tonight will receive one or two, this admits two, so two couples, one or two tickets to the Haverhill Police All-Star Game versus the All-Pro Patriot Celebrity Softball Team. I believe last year one of our regular listeners, Woody, went. I could be mistaken. My memory could be failing me. And then for all others, how can we get you a ticket if you don't contribute? Maybe we can figure out something there. So if we get desperate, we might give these away. But please consider giving to the Make Waves campaign. And you know, making waves is an intentional double entendre of sorts. WHAV makes waves every day with its comprehensive news coverage. There is news at WHAV.net that you can read, or you can listen to any one of the newscasts during the day at WHAV.net audio. And soon you'll be able to hear the news at 97.9 FM. But WHAV makes waves by writing about those things and reporting about those things that some people, if you can believe this, some people don't want you to know about. So WHAV makes waves every day. Usually the waves we make are the only places you'll find that news. WHAV News is a pretty comprehensive effort. It launched in a big way. There's always been some news on WHAV, but launched in a really big way last June. WHAV News Director Dana Esmol and some interns. Nate contributes with sports. All kinds of news here. And frankly, that makes waves because some people would rather you did not know for their own nefarious reasons. And we'll stay away from the specifics right now, but you certainly can talk. 978-374-1900. I'll tell you what, maybe some of you would be eligible to win this ticket if you want to call and offer some speculation about why some people do not want the news reported. How's that? All right. $10 or more, you become a WHAV member, special tonight, normally $25, or $10 for students or senior citizens. Make a contribution of $10 or more tonight. You'll receive a ticket, admits to Haverhill Police All-Stars Game versus the All-Pro Patriot Celebrity Softball Team at Haverhill Stadium, June 8th. You become a member, you get a ticket, you're going to get a bumper sticker in the mail, you're going to get a membership card in the mail, and you're going to do a really good deed for the community. But if you can't do the $10, we'll hold the ticket for you if you want to tell us why some people don't want the news reported. You can offer your speculation. I may or may not comment, depending on whether or not we get turned off or something. So we'll do that. I do want to tell you, though, before we get to the other prizes, the names of some people who are helping WHAV make waves. Keep in mind, WHAV, unlike the very old days where WHAV began in 1947, unlike those days, WHAV today is a non-profit, non-commercial corporation relying on your contributions and your goodwill to bring these programs to you every day, to report the news every day, and to soon put FM radio station 97.9 on the dial. Okay, let's look at a list of who has contributed so far. You'll recognize some of these names, no doubt. We're going to read these in the list in which the contribution was received. Al Brenner. How many of you remember Al? Associated with the TAP for many years, Al was the first to step up and make a contribution to WHAV. Next, we have Jack Roy, Haverhill resident, very, very active in letting us know about activities at Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School. Then, of course, the person for whom is the honorary chair of the campaign, Tom Bergeron himself, contributed the largest contribution to date. Jessica Finicaro, she ran for state senate last year. David Tibbetts of the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council, who will be sponsoring this program next hour. Mark LeMay, we're all very familiar with Mark, fills in here often, was a former WHAV news director. He's on the list. Larry Olasky, I think you might remember, Larry was on this very program when Bill Masick was filling in, and they were discussing the Bradford Rail Trail. Elaine Barker, Paper Potpourri, you might all know Elaine. Larry Seaman, he was on Haverhill Community Television once with a program Around Town. He's been associated with WHAV as well. Gene Poff, who is the director of vice president of institutional advancement at Northern Essex Community College. WXBJ Radio of Salisbury. That is another station that is licensed in the same category as WHAV, and they generously stepped up as well. Regular caller and environmental consultant Gerald McCall, nice contribution. Eva Rashik, contributed to the program. Mary O'Neill, formerly associated with the Merrimack Valley Hospital, and after that, Haverhill Community Television, stepped up with a generous contribution. Attorney Joseph Edwards has a law firm, Bailey Boulevard, Edwards Law, nice contribution. Patricia Johnson, Pat Johnson as we know her, very nice that she stepped up. You may know Pat. Pat is the widow of Edwin V. Johnson, for whom this newsroom is named. Thank you very much, Pat. And then Carolyn and Charles Russell. Carolyn actually works here, and we're very grateful that she stepped up as well. Can you add your name to this list? We're at about 2% toward our goal of $100,000 to put up the new FM station. We need an FM transmitter. We need an antenna. We really could use your help. You know, public radio does what we in the industry, and maybe others call it as well, begathons a few times a year. And I'm afraid to say that we're going to be begging a little more often. We know that money is tight. But if you value getting the news, if you value finding out information that helps you decide who to vote for in the polls, and of course this isn't a local election year this year, so this information is helpful to you. WHAV provides complete coverage of Haverhill City Council and of the school committee and of various boards. Much more than that, though, it's more than an observer. It's on top of news, and again, news that some people don't want you to know about, and that's why WHAV makes waves. Tom Bergeron got his start at WHAV in 1972. Well, look where he is now, host of Dancing with the Stars. He has been host of America's Funniest Home Videos, on Hollywood Squares, and many other accomplishments. Our thanks go out to Tom Bergeron for becoming honorary chairperson of the WHAV Make Waves, Bring Local News to FM campaign. Can you add to this? We'll give you, if you contribute $10 or more tonight, we'll give you a ticket to the All-Pro Patriots softball game against Haverhill Police. We'll give you a membership card. We'll give you a bumper sticker, and we'll give you recognition on the air. What we're going to do now is we're going to think about the next few prizes, and we'll take a brief break. This hour, you'll hear about this day in Massachusetts history, and we'll be back with more of the Open Mic Show, and hopefully your calls after that.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
Would you like to hear the wave on your stereo, or even better, anywhere in your home? Check out the tips for better sound at www.whav.net.
Catch the wave!
This is Tom Hartman inviting you to tune into the Tom Hartman program on WHAV every weekday beginning at noon. I'm here 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, taking your calls live and providing all the news you need to know. The Tom Hartman program is your media support group for we the people. Again, please join me weekdays beginning at noon right here on WHAV. Remember, only local radio can bring you this progressive talk opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Today is March 16th. On this day in 1926, Clark University physics professor Robert Goddard launched the world's first liquid fuel rocket, and with it the space age. Standing in a snow-covered field in Auburn, Massachusetts, he watched as the rocket he had built rose 41 feet into the air, flew for 2.5 seconds, and landed 184 feet away. Having been widely ridiculed for suggesting that it might be possible for a rocket to reach the moon, he did not publicize his achievement. It would be another 30 years before Robert Goddard was recognized as the father of modern rocketry. In May of 1959, NASA named the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland in memory of the brilliant and visionary scientist from Worcester. For more about Robert Goddard, go online to massmoments.org. This Massachusetts Moment has been brought to you by the Massachusetts Foundation for the Humanities.
WHAV Open Mic!
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome to the Begathon, we'll call it, on the Open Mic Show tonight. This hour of the Open Mic Show being brought to you by Haverhill Bank. Just one bank. Okay, let's go over a couple of things. We're going to try to get your interest tonight. All right, we're taking April birthdays and anniversaries. April birthdays and anniversaries tonight. And just wish someone a happy birthday or a couple a happy anniversary. Their name will be placed into the hat and drawn the last Monday of the month, whatever date that is. All right, so very easy. No hard lifting, hard work, or heavy lifting, whichever cliche I'm trying to screw up here. All you have to do is wish your neighbor, your son, your daughter, your grandchild, someone who's having an April birthday, a happy birthday, or a couple, a happy anniversary. And who knows, if they win, you might be invited over for a slice. Our thanks go out to our really, really good friends at LBD's Second Generation Italian Bakery, 140 South Main Street on the Bradford side of the river. Still haven't quite figured out what to call Bradford. All right, but LBD's, it's been there now for quite a while, and quite a selection of not just these wonderful cakes, and they are giving away a 7-inch cake, your choice of chocolate or vanilla, but they also have breads, pizza, cookies, and pastries, and so on. All right. Someday Nate and I will figure out a better way to communicate. But we have a caller on the line now who has made a contribution to the Make Waves campaign. First one tonight. You are on the air.
I'm on the air.
Well, thank you very much for your contribution to the Make Waves campaign hosted by Tom Bridger.
How could I not contribute to you after 30 years? What can I tell you?
Well, thank you very much. This is Stan Colton, Man of the Hour. Stan, you're going to get a free admission to the Haverhill Police All-Stars game.
Donate it to a couple of kids that need it. One of the group houses or something like that. Whatever you want to donate them to.
Well, aren't you very nice? Thank you very much, Stan. So what is going on in your world? I
looked into that situation you asked me, and everybody doesn't know what I'm talking about. How's that grab you?
All right. Well, that's... I guess that's par for the course, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm watching it like a hawk.
All right. Well, we did have some information on it and did put it on our website, but maybe to keep us both out of trouble, we won't get into details tonight.
Yeah, okay. Well, when you get a chance, give me a call on it.
All right, I'll do that. But how is everything else?
The same SOS.
All right, one of the things we're going to talk about later tonight, maybe you want to offer an observation. Have you looked at the view from Merrimack Street? I mean, you can.
Have I looked at what?
The view from Merrimack Street. You can see all the way out to the Hooker Howe Building and the Basilia Bridge.
I see it every day. Now they're taking it down. It's great.
So it looks good. I guess we'll see how this progresses. They've certainly made some progress despite the weather.
Yeah, it's 3 years away.
Okay, you think it'll be that long before we see some...
I think you'll see buildings start to go up once they clean the whole area up and so forth, but I think it's still 3 years away.
All right, well, that's interesting insight. Let's see, let's just make sure this doesn't become a dust bowl like the last time Haverhill did a demolition project.
I remember that. No, I don't think so. I think this one's going to go through like crazy.
Well, that's what it seems like. So, folks, if you haven't been up to date, WHAV News reported today the final phase of demolition is going to be taking place this week. So far, Woolworth Building is about the last one to go, but it's the one most people talk about, and you'll see that building is pretty much gone soon.
I think by next week you'll see most of it gone.
All right, so anything else on your mind, Stan?
No, I'll talk to you privately.
How about you tell us, when's your next Colton's Corner show, and who do you have on?
My next Colton show is March 26th. I have LePage, and I have the elected, he'll be elected school committee person they named on the board of directors.
Okay, that's a good question. Can you reveal that? So
Negliani, the lawyer.
So Paul Magliacchetti has been elected.
So I said they're going to teach me how to pronounce his name right. Go ahead.
Well, I have my last name ends in a vowel, so I'm kind of used to this. So Paul Magliacchetti has been elected to the board of directors.
He hasn't been elected yet, but he's been nominated. The school committee
member, yes.
He'll be elected at the next board meeting, but the school committee named him to represent, the thing.
All right. Well, thank you. So we'll follow up with you separately on that and give the listeners all the news.
All right, I'd be more than happy to. I'm looking forward to having him on the board. I think he's going to be a great asset for us.
Well,
at least help me out a little bit.
well, as reported by WHAV News last week, he was very helpful at that Haverhill City Council subcommittee meeting.
He's all set. I mean, as far as I could say, the paper they were looking for came in for him, and I think I'm sort of pushing for the vote at the next meeting for him to get on, which is to the end of this week. They're having a special meeting, so
all right.
I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna ask for a vote to get him on right away.
All right. Well, thank you for that news. I really appreciate it. All right. Have a good night, and thank you for your contribution to the Make Waves.
Anytime for you, Mr. Coco, anytime.
I thank you so much.
Okay, whatever help I can give you, let me know. I'm still working on the other thing I told you about.
All right. Well, anything would be of great value, and we appreciate your efforts. For 25 years or more, you have been involved in getting information to Haverhill residents.
Well, I try to, the truth's the truth. That's all I can say.
All right, well, we look forward to watching Colton's Corner later this month.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks again. Good luck now.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
All right, so there's a contribution from Stan Colton. You may remember is a member of the Board of Directors of Haverhill Community Television, Channel 22. He was at the Haverhill City Council meeting a little more than a week ago. And provided quite a bit of information, and the councilors, I think, were very, very appreciative that he came to the meeting and provided what he could. And he has his own show on Channel 22, Colton's Corner. Check that out. I think you'll find it very informative, very interesting, if you haven't already been a fan of Stan Colton. Okay, 4 minutes before the top of the hour. Back to the prizes. All right, so you now know that you can receive a ticket to the Haverhill Police All-Stars game against the All-Pro Patriots simply by, one, telling us why WHAV News is valuable to you, or by making a contribution to the Make Waves campaign chaired by honorary chairperson Tom Bergeron. All right, so we also have birthday cakes, we have sporting tickets, and here's a question from our friends at Kimball Tavern Antiques, corner of Salem and South Main Streets. You can win a $10 gift certificate, same as cash, to Kimball Tavern Antiques, if you can answer these questions all about John Greenleaf Whittier. Okay, the famous Haverhill poet John Greenleaf Whittier used to frequent 2 New Hampshire towns. Now, of course, he probably went to a lot of other towns, but 2 towns in particular were important to John Greenleaf Whittier. We ask you to name each of those towns, and then in addition, name 2 locations, 2 prominent locations named for the poet Whittier in the state of New Hampshire. So 4 answers altogether. Which 2 New Hampshire towns did Whittier frequent? Which 2 locations in New Hampshire are named for John Greenleaf Whittier? You can win. Be the first to answer the question. You can win a $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques. All right, we're going to go to news in a second, but let's talk during the next half hour. If you can talk about anything, open lines tonight. But if you want to talk but just not sure of your topic, well, how about Merrimack Street? I have to admit, I agree with Ron Trombley, who's the manager of the Greater Haverhill Foundation, that the view of the Merrimack River is startling and breathtaking from the center of Merrimack Street. Certainly not a view we've seen, I think he was saying, in 100 years since these buildings went up. Now, of course, they're going to keep access to the river in this plan for Harbor Place. A building going up on the corner where Woolworth's is now will have a restaurant or something on the first floor. UMass Lowell on 2 floors, Pentucket Bank, corporate offices, among others, up above. And then to the right of that, an 80 apartment building on the street. And then some parking underneath and some type of boardwalk thanks to State Representative Brian Dempsey. You know, I don't think most people know, and this will take us right to news, I don't think most people realize that this project would not have been possible without Representative Dempsey. Representative Dempsey is chairman of the very powerful House Ways and Means Committee at the State House. Now, it's taken Brian some years, as it does, to work your way up to a position of power, but he is essentially the third most powerful politician in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I'm leaving the lieutenant governor out, who has nothing to do generally. It goes from the governor to the Senate president, maybe, more likely to the House Speaker, and then to the Ways and Means Chairman, Brian Dempsey. So maybe third or fourth from the top. And he has delivered time and time again. How do you think the seawall got repaired on Merrimack Street? How do you think the money for the boardwalk came to Haverhill? Brian Dempsey is a local hero, and let's talk about that during the next hour. Merrimack Street, Representative Dempsey, what else is on your mind? 978-374-1900. We're going to go to local news now with News Director Dana Esmel, and then national news from FSN, local weather, and back to the Open Mic Show.
Open Mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 7:01.
WHAV Merrimack Valley. WHAV is a not-for-profit service of Public Media of New England Incorporated. It's heard on 1640 AM, the web, at whav.net, and participating cable television stations.
Here's what's happening in local news. The owner of a Methuen disposal company is facing charges in connection with failing to pay more than $184,000 into the Commonwealth's Unemployment Trust Fund, according to Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey. Raphael Arias, 43, of Methuen, pleaded not guilty at his arraignment Friday in Suffolk Superior Court. He is charged with 12 counts of non-payment of employer contributions. The case is the result of an investigation referred to the Attorney General's office by the Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development's Department of Unemployment Assistance. According to authorities, Arias was the president and director of A&J Disposal, a construction material disposal and trucking company that was dissolved in June 2014. A&J Disposal was required to pay unemployment contributions to DUA. Authorities allege that from January 2011 through October 2013, Arias continued to pay his employees and file the company's tax reports, but failed to pay the required unemployment tax to DUA, resulting in delinquent payments of more than $184,000. A Suffolk County grand jury returned indictments against Arias and A&J Disposal on February 12. Arias was released on personal recognizance. He is due back in court on April 22 for a pre-trial conference. The former Woolworth building in downtown Haverhill will become all but a memory by later this week, as demolition is well underway to make room for the new Harbor Place development project. According to Haverhill Economic Development and Planning Director William Pillsbury, demolition work on Tuesday and Wednesday will bring traffic restrictions near the site, subject to police department approval. Plans call for Merrimack Street to remain open. However, the right-hand turning lane from Merrimack Street onto the Basilia Bridge will be closed, and the travel lane over the bridge toward Bradford will be shifted one lane away from the building. Quote, traffic in both directions on Merrimack Street will not be shut down, although there will be additional congestion due to the turning lane and bridge lane restrictions. The purpose of these temporary changes are for public safety during the removal of the remainder of the Woolworth building, Pillsbury said. Observers report demolition work to the former Woolworth building began late last week from the rear sections and progressed toward the frontage on White's Corner, the intersection of Merrimack and Main Streets. 2 people faced drunk driving charges following separate arrests by Haverhill police over the weekend. Police report Natasha Johnson, 22, of Haverhill, was arrested at 5 a.m. Sunday on a charge of operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. The arrest occurred at 420 Groveland Street. Also, Suzanne Rose, 60, of Haverhill, was arrested at 7:30 p.m. Friday at 795 River Street on a charge of operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. In other police news, Stephen Beal, 47, of Groveland, was arrested by Haverhill police at 10:47 a.m. Sunday at 23 Howard Street. He was charged with operating a motor vehicle after license suspension. Beal was also cited for a brake light violation. With the changing temperatures in March comes pothole season on local streets. Haverhill residents can report local potholes either through a link on the City of Haverhill's website, ci.haverhill.ma.us, call the Highway Department at 978-374-2364, or send an email to pothole@cityofhaverhill.com. In local high school sports, no scheduled team matches on Monday for the Whittier Tech Wildcats. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source, and it's always free. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Dana Esmel.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. Russian President Vladimir Putin has made his first appearance after more than 10 days of absence. His disappearance from public view after the 5th of March sparked rumors about his health and status both in Russia and abroad. Speaking on state TV, Mr. Putin said life would be boring without gossip, brushing off speculation about his health. Video of the Russian leader meeting in St. Petersburg with President Almazbek Atambayev of Kyrgyzstan was also broadcast. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned his supporters that his party could lose Tuesday's election. The latest opinion polls show Mr. Netanyahu facing a strong challenge from Isaac Herzog, leader of the center-left Labor Party. Ruth Eglash, Jerusalem correspondent for The Washington Post, says the outcome of Tuesday's election is still uncertain.
The Zionist Union, headed by Isaac Herzog and Tzipi Livni, is actually pushing ahead and might win more seats in tomorrow's elections. At the moment, the polls that I'm looking at, I think, which were taken on Friday, show them with about 25 seats and Netanyahu's Likud party with only 22, which in normal terms would mean that the Zionist Union, led by Herzog and Livni, would win. However, they need to win the majority of seats in the 121-seat Knesset, and that's only achieved by forming a coalition.
Talks are underway between U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Iranian Foreign Minister Jawad Zarif in Lausanne, Switzerland, with just over 2 weeks to go before a deadline to reach an agreement over Iran's nuclear program expires. Mr. Kerry says he's hopeful a deal can be reached, but he's made no promises of a breakthrough. Meanwhile, the United States and Cuba are meeting in Havana for talks on restoring diplomatic relations. They're seeking more progress towards an agreement, despite concerns that their differences over Venezuela could impede discussions. Kate Fisher reports from Washington.
This is the third round of talks since US President Obama and President Castro of Cuba announced a push toward normal relations in December. Before agreeing to restore ties, Cuba wants to be removed from the State Department's list of nations that sponsor terrorism, and also to find a bank willing to handle transactions for its diplomatic posts in the United States. Both sides reported progress on these issues after the first 2 rounds of talks. But last week, the United States declared Cuba's closest ally, Venezuela, a security threat and ordered sanctions against 7 officials from the oil-rich country. Kate Fisher, Washington.
For more of the day's top stories, you can follow us on Twitter at Feature Story or check out our website at featurestorynews.com. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with wave weather. We'll have thickening clouds headed through the night. There could be a rain or snow shower by daybreak, temperatures 30 to 35. Then on Tuesday, a few rain showers in the morning. A little wet snow may mix in. Either way, no accumulation expected. There could be some late day sun, highs near 45. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, a low close to 20. We go into Wednesday with a good deal of sunshine, maybe an isolated flurry. It'll be breezy with a high of 30. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
This is listener-supported community radio, WHAV. WHAV is the Merrimack Valley's Pacifica affiliate.
WHAV, Merrimack Valley, open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Back to the Open Mic Show, a 50-year staple of democracy in the Merrimack Valley. This hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by Haverhill Bank. Just one bank. And you know, that reminds me, we're going to change the prize thing a little bit because I think it makes more sense and might be of more interest to you. But I want to remind everyone that this weekend, this Saturday, from 2 to 6 p.m., Saturday, March 21st, is a fundraiser for Brian Langlois. Brian, as you may recall, we now call him the Lieutenant. Brian Langlois is a blind Haverhill man who lost his life savings because of a theft at his home. He also had a pretty horrible 2014, as we may have mentioned. His wife passed away. His savings was robbed. His boyhood home was demolished. So we will provide, WHAV will provide a ticket that admits to the Haverhill Police All-Star Game versus the All-Pro Patriot Celebrity Softball Team. Now, that's going to take place at Haverhill Stadium June 8th. Give you a ticket if you call and promise. I'm going to take you at your word. Call the Open Mic Show and promise to either go to Brian's fundraiser at the Crescent Yacht Club Saturday, March 21st. Support your fellow citizen. Go to the fundraiser. We'll bring the ticket to you, and you'll have it in plenty of time for June 8th. So if you pledge to go to the fundraiser, or we'll make this a three-parter. Go to the fundraiser or contribute to the Brian Langlois Relief Fund at any Haverhill Bank branch. And one of you did, by the way. I'm very pleased. Someone brought the story from WHAV.net into a Haverhill Bank branch. They looked it up. I believe they took them a second to find it, but now they know to look. Haverhill Bank took that person's contribution. Thank you, whoever you are, for printing out the news story and bringing it with you to Haverhill Bank. So, give you this free ticket. Admits to. All you have to do is pledge. We'll take your word for it that you're going to go to the Brian Langlois Relief Fundraiser at Crescent Yacht Club this Saturday between 2 and 6 p.m. Admission is $10, and there are plenty of prizes there as well. So you don't want to miss this event, and you're going to be helping out a fellow Haverhillite. You can also get this ticket if you make a contribution to WHAV's Make Waves campaign. Honorary chairperson is Tom Bergeron, who got his start right here at WHAV in 1972, and now, of course, is world famous as host of Dancing with the Stars. Of course, he's also been host of America's Funniest Home Videos and Hollywood Squares and other things. So help WHAV put news on FM at 97.9 with your contribution. So, free ticket. You have three ways to contribute. You can also win a birthday cake or name someone to win a birthday cake from LBD Second Generation Italian Bakery. All you have to do is call right now, 978-374-1900, and wish someone a happy birthday or a couple a happy anniversary. And we'll draw the name the last Monday of the month for the cake. And last but certainly not least, you could win a $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern Antiques, corner of Salem and South Main Streets in Haverhill. Answer these questions. John Greenleaf Whittier used to frequent 2 New Hampshire towns. Which 2? Very easy. Take a guess. And 2 locations, prominent locations, were named for Whittier in the state of New Hampshire. Name those 2 locations, and you could win a $10 gift certificate from our very good friends at Kimball Tavern Antiques. I believe we have a phone call. Is that right? You are on the Open Mic Show.
How you doing?
Hi there. How are you?
Okay. Thank you for your plug for the fundraiser.
Well, Lieutenant, we had to do this, and you are as good a cause as any, and it seems to me you're in greater need than most. And so,
yeah, I guess so.
We'd like to help. I know we're, thank you for being brave enough to come on the air, because I think some people, and maybe myself would included, might just want to wallow. And cry into the pillow, and it says a lot about you that you've stepped up.
Well, I can get my share of wallowing. There's plenty of time for that.
Well, we do appreciate all your contributions in the form of conversation on the Open Mic Show and contributing names to the contests, and we really just enjoy hearing from you, and we wish you the best.
Well, thanks, Tim.
Any more birthdays from you?
Well, I was thinking of one that I know while I was sitting here trying to think of, try to think of people locally, because my mother-in-law's birthday is in April, but she's in Kerrville, Texas, so I dare say she won't be swinging by LBD's to pick it up.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, that's a good criteria.
But I do know somebody in Haverhill whose name is Andy. He's got a birthday coming up.
Andy.
April 5th, yeah.
You wrote that down, Nate? Okay.
No, he didn't write it down. Nate doesn't have it yet.
Well, he does now. We just need Andy's address, or if it's going to be sent to you instead, if Andy wins.
I'll call Nate back with the address for Andy.
Can you tell us some more? I don't know if you had heard that story I just mentioned, that someone printed out from WHAV News' website the story and went to Haverhill Bank to make a contribution.
Yeah, I just caught that, and that's very nice that they do that. And if that person is listening now, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We're hoping for a good turnout on Saturday, and thanks for any contributions. There's a local businessman who just ran into Lisa downtown, or at one of the banks anyway, and I don't know how they connected because they didn't know each other, but he pulled out a $50 bill and gave it to her. Said, "Here."
Oh, isn't that wonderful? That's wonderful. I know that this community comes together in a time of need, and so I'm looking forward to seeing many people. I'm going myself between 2 and 6 p.m. Saturday, March 21st, at the Crescent Yacht Club. And I hate to admit this, I don't think I've ever been inside the Crescent Yacht Club.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was there in the old days, and then more recently, I was over there in October. And, they've done some nice things. I remember when we had that big no smoking thing going on all around town. And the yacht club, I think now, I could be wrong on this, but they had put in a whole new system to address the tobacco smoke issue, and then they voluntarily went smoke-free anyway.
Oh, all right. So they put in one of those air filtration systems or something, and then those are pretty expensive.
I guess so.
And so they cut it out altogether. Probably a good thing all around.
I guess so.
I'm not sure how I feel about requiring it. I'm kind of on the fence. I think it's possible to accommodate smokers on decks and other kinds of things, but I think the trend is toward eliminating it anywhere.
Well, the trend is they're making smokers into second-class citizens, and frankly, I mean, let's treat the smokers with respect because they won't be with us all that long.
Oh, there's a way of putting it. You know what? You just caused 5 people to quit. So maybe you're doing your good deed after all. All right. Well, maybe you don't know, but do you have any more insight on any kind of the raffle prizes or anything that'll be given out at your event?
Not exactly. There are some things like, there's one of the members, at least, from the bereavement group that I attend on Tuesdays, is doing something, knitting something.
Oh, isn't that nice?
I don't know what it is, but it's going to be there. There's the silent auction, raffles, all that kind of thing.
Oh, that's great. You said something just now, and I at the risk of asking the wrong thing, how does a bereavement group work?
Well, this particular bereavement group is people that have lost spouses. They get various kinds of groups at the hospice house up on North Ave. And this is pretty much people who have lost spouses and people who are a little older, such as I am. And so they're mostly widows, but there are a few of us widowers there. And we talk about some of the issues, the grieving process, and basically support each other.
No, that sounds like a wonderful thing. I wonder, so if someone wanted to join, they could call the hospice house on North Avenue?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There's the group facilitator. I mean, she has voicemail there, but doesn't actually have a physical office.
Okay. No, I think that's very valuable information. So I'd like to share that. So if you or someone you know, listeners, are grieving and could use a sensitive ear, this group may be for you. So Brian, thank you for sharing that.
I recruited Corporal Jerry there.
Yeah, I have to admit, I didn't realize it until I was looking him up, that he lost his wife in December. Is that right?
Yep, correct.
And he's called here a couple of times. I hope he's listening now because we did run a story on WHAV News, and it's still on the website. Jerry is one of the first to bring to our attention that our music is not playing in the background for the time being on Channel 22. Brian, maybe you can confirm. I don't know if it's back or not, but they said it wasn't going back until the snow melted. And they're right now they're rotating a couple of CDs of beach music and running beach videos.
Well, that's what Darlene said. Yeah. But,
so I
don't know.
I at the risk of getting pulled off the air now, I'm going to just leave it at that. But we shall see how it goes. I guess that's maybe a good point I should just bring up. WHAV doesn't make up the news. It covers it.
Yep.
So if someone is saying something, and by the way, if they have anything bad to say about WHAV, that's going to get reported as well, because the news department is completely independent from management here. And so when there's news, and it doesn't matter who you are, Brian has been on the news for his house problem on School Street. So the news is the news, and it gets reported either way. Someone asked me as recently as today, why there isn't more good news. And, Barney Gallagher, my mentor and former editor at the Haverhill Gazette, once said, people won't read the paper if all you report are about the houses that did not burn down last night.
Right. Right.
So I'm afraid to say that that's just the nature of news. But there is plenty of good news on WHAV as well. There's the Community Spotlight, which is all about civic and cultural events. So I'm not sure that's a fair thing to say.
And the Mass Moments is very interesting also.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm very impressed. That program comes to us from, of course, they just said it, now I'm drawing a blank. It's the Division of the Humanities or something like that in Boston. And it's on every day, 7 days a week on WHAV, and it's about that particular day in history.
Yep.
And as long as we schedule them properly, they'll be correct. So, and I think we have so far.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, I do look forward to seeing you on Saturday afternoon.
And same here. I look forward to it, and I think it'll be a good time for all, and we'll just wish for the best on this.
By the way, I did, I don't know if I'm talking out of turn or not, but we had a Haverhill License Commission meeting last week, and an officer was attending as a witness, and it was Officer Benedetti.
Is that right?
So I did take the time to ask, and he says it's still an open case and they're still investigating the theft. So I don't think we've heard the last of that yet.
Oh, I'm sure we haven't. It's just that they probably keep him so busy with things that he just doesn't have a chance to call me back or whatever.
Well, I think he has to work day and night because our License Commission meetings are at night.
Yep.
So he's out during the day doing all the investigative work, and then, like all of the police officers, I give them a lot of credit. Then they have to come back after hours and testify about various events that impact whether or not a business should continue to have a liquor license.
Right.
And that's pretty valuable if we want to keep peace in the community.
Well, what about liquor licenses? I mean, I remember back in the old days, you had a certain number of liquor licenses, for your population, the makeup of the town and all that. But what I wonder about is, we're talking about Restaurant Row down there, another restaurant going into this new thing called Harbor Place.
Yes, I'm sure.
I still don't know where that harbor is going to come from, but...
Well, I think it's going to be 10 feet below no matter what you do because there's a flood wall there. But nevertheless, the river is still pretty visible from what will be the boardwalk, as we can see from the little piece of boardwalk behind Haverhill Bank gives us a clue of what it's going to be like. And I don't know if most people realize it, but there is still a legal street under that boardwalk called Wall Street. It's still there.
Yep.
And I don't think the state's going to let us take that away, so it'll still be there,
right.
Hidden as it might be. Maybe it's kind of like Little River at Washington Square.
That's right.
It doesn't appear to be there, but it is.
It's under there. But the thing is, though, I'm still disappointed that we're going to have two buildings. People talk about the look of the downtown and the view of the river. You take up more of the, obstruction by putting two buildings than you would with, say, one building. I don't know, just my thought. I think that they should, if they're going to have a restaurant, they should have it at or near the top of like a 14-story building.
Oh, I see. That's an interesting idea. So everyone's thinking...
With a roof garden, that kind of thing.
Actually, sort of like top of the hub, or New Hampshire had something off Commercial Street. What's it, the High Five?
I'm not sure.
Something like that. No, that's maybe someone from Harbor Place is listening. And there's no reason why there couldn't be two restaurants. I'm thinking of kind of like an au bon pain on the first floor. Quick come in, get a baked good or a sandwich.
Well, maybe, but that the rents are going to be through the roof.
Well, I've been trying to figure out their model, because if Haverhill Community Television is paying $1 million, then is the whole thing just a bunch of condos?
Oh, I don't know. They're paying $1 million not to rent, but to own then, right?
Well, I'm assuming you don't pay $1 million to rent unless it's the worst deal ever.
Yeah.
But,
the Haney Realty Company.
Yeah, that's right. And it wouldn't be the first time Mr. Haney has made his way around Haverhill, now would it? All right.
Oh, he's around. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just, and plus the name of the place. I was thinking they should have perhaps thought of putting something with the Woolworth name in it if they had some kind of permission.
I was talking, we'll take this right to news, I guess, right to weather. I was talking to Bill Pillsbury the other day. He's Haverhill's Planning and Economic Development Director.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I went to school with Bill.
What's that?
I went to school with Bill.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, Haverhill's a small town, isn't
Yep.
it? Well, I remembered something. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but they have carefully removed the terracotta from the Woolworth building.
Uh-huh.
So it has been salvaged. And it reminded me that in my early days as a reporter, when the Haverhill parking garage, the now known as the Herbert H. Goecke Jr. Memorial Parking Deck on Merrimack Street, if you recall, and maybe people don't know this, so I'll bring it up now, that the terracotta that appears on the Haverhill parking deck came from the Grad Building that was torn down.
Is that right?
And so the terracotta that's there came from that I think that was the Daggett block. It's its real name.
Yeah.
And so Bill Pillsbury says he can't say for sure what's going to happen to that terracotta, whether or not the salvage company is keeping it for their own reuse, or whether or not it'll show up somewhere. But I remembered that the terracotta, from the time the Daggett building was torn down to the time the parking deck was finished, this would be a great trivia question, but no one will ever get it, so I'll give out the answer. But where was that terracotta stored? Do you have an idea?
No idea at all.
That terracotta wasn't in a public works garage. It wasn't at City Hall. It wasn't anywhere downtown. That terracotta was in the attic of the home of Rick Swain, who was Haverhill's Community Development Director.
Oh, is that right?
And Rick Swain, and I always knew that it was there, because Rick didn't trust anybody. He didn't want to leave it in a public works garage and have it broken or crushed.
Yeah.
But what I did not know until I spoke with Bill Pillsbury is that Bill had to help him lug it up there to the attic.
Oh.
So I guess it was a back-breaking job.
Jeez.
So we can thank two people for saving parts of Haverhill's heritage. Bill Pillsbury and Rick Swain saved the terracotta, and it did get reused. So maybe some listeners have some ideas for how the not that anyone's listening to us as far as taking our advice. Hopefully they're listening to us.
Yeah, I hope so.
But maybe that's a little something for listeners. They can call after the weather. How would you reuse the terracotta from Woolworths? Brian, you start.
I don't know. I mean, I wanted to back up down the street there to Parks Nose and get that elevator out of there.
You wanted to save the elevator?
Yeah.
What was it, a decorative one?
Yeah, it was, the old-fashioned kind where you had to have an elevator operator.
Oh, so with the double doors?
Yeah.
The kind of the gate?
Cage and the cable. And
Ah, yes.
yeah.
Now, I wonder how many of those are left downtown. Maybe no more.
Maybe no more, because I don't think anybody saved it, and that's gone. And so,
All right, listeners.
I'm not thinking of a terracotta. I'm thinking of this.
How would you reuse the terracotta? I will say, and this is going to come off maybe sounding terrible, but I do not think the terracotta on the Woolworth building was anywhere near the quality of the terracotta of the Grad Building. But nevertheless, maybe it has some value to someone.
Maybe.
All right. Well, Brian, I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Well, see you then.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Take care. Bye. All right. So happy birthday to Andy from Brian Langlois and LBD's second-generation Italian bakery. All right, we skipped Community Spotlight, but we're not going to skip the weather. It's kind of warm right now compared to what we've seen this winter or felt this winter. So let's find out more about local weather, and we'll be back with more of the Open Mic Show. Just before I do that, since we missed the spot, this hour has been brought to you by Haverhill Bank. just one bank. We'll be right back.
Open mic.
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 7:34.
This spot could have been yours. Support WHAV's local approach with your underwriting. Go to whav.net and click on support to reach thousands of new customers.
Catch the wave.
Those political sound bites you hear on the news are, at best, incomplete and could be misleading or even outright lies. This is David Pakman. Take time to delve into the truth by listening to The David Pakman Show, Tuesday through Friday nights at 8 on WHAV. Lack of logic and reason are exposed on The David Pakman Show as newsmakers collapse under cross-examination. Remember, only local radio can bring you this talk opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with wave weather. We'll have thickening clouds headed through the night. There could be a rain or snow shower by daybreak. Temperatures 30 to 35. Then on Tuesday, a few rain showers in the morning. A little wet snow may mix in. Either way, no accumulation expected. There could be some late day sun. Highs near 45. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, a low close to 20. We go into Wednesday with a good deal of sunshine. Maybe an isolated flurry. It'll be breezy with a high of 30. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Your soft gold favorites. Catch the wave. WHAV. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic Show, a 50-year staple of democracy in the Merrimack Valley. This hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council. Smart companies choose the Merrimack Valley. And you know, if you would like to see the most comprehensive list of things to do throughout the Merrimack Valley, whether it's a play, whether it's a concert, whether it is a free walking trail guide, go to merrimackvalley.info. Merrimack Valley, all one word, .info, and you can get this Merrimack Valley Happenings newsletter for free. If you want it emailed to you every week, go to merrimackvalley.info and fill out the contact form, and it'll be sent to your inbox. I'm going to ask Nate just to zoom in the camera a little bit because it looks like I'm in the back of the room somewhere, and you can see all this junk on my desk and computers and envelopes and microphones are not being used, so maybe he can zoom in a little bit and take the clutter away, at least for the rest of you. All right. Thank you, Nate. All right. Here again, let's go through the prizes. First of all, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. Anyone going to the St. Patrick's Day breakfast hosted by the Haverhill Exchange Club? Call me. Let me know what you think. Anyone want to talk about how the Irish are depicted in the media? I noticed that just by pure coincidence, last night we started a new adventure on the radio show, yours truly, Johnny Dollar. It's heard 10 p.m. Sunday nights and 1 a.m. Monday mornings. And there was this rather stereotypical bar restaurant owner with kind of a stereotypical Irish-type accent. Maybe you have a comment about how the Irish have been traditionally treated in the media. There's a topic for you. Or maybe you want to talk about what you would do if you were king of Haverhill and you could put the terracotta from the Woolworth building somewhere else. Where would you put it? 978-374-1900. Okay, prizes. We have prizes. You can win a free ticket. It admits two. So one ticket admits two. You could win a free ticket to watch the Haverhill Police play the All-Pro Patriots Celebrity Softball Team. Now, I'm told these are actual Patriots players, but maybe not the ones you immediately think of, but they're actual players who are going to play celebrity softball at Haverhill Stadium on June 8th. All right, so to get one of these, a couple things that you can do to get one, and we have quite a few to give away. You can contribute to the Brian Langlois Relief Fund. Just go to any Haverhill Bank branch. All you have to do is tell us that you're going to do it. We're going to take you at your word. Call the Open Mic Show. Talk to me on the air. Tell me you are going to bring your gift to any Haverhill Bank branch for the Brian Langlois Relief Fund, and I will give you this admission for two people. Or you can tell me that you're going to go to the fundraiser for Brian at the Crescent Yacht Club Saturday afternoon between 2 and 6 p.m. Again, I'll take your word for it, and I'll have a ticket for you. Or you can contribute to WHAV's Make Waves campaign. And, of course, Make Waves, the honorary chairperson, is Tom Bergeron, who got his start right here at WHAV in 1972, right out of Haverhill High School. Make a pledge. We'll make it easy for you. We can take your credit card over the phone, or we can just mail you an envelope. And we'll maybe mail that envelope with a ticket. So call 978-374-1900. If you'd like a slice of birthday cake or anniversary cake, all you have to do is wish someone a happy birthday or a couple a happy anniversary. The name will be entered into the hat, and on the last Monday of this month, we'll draw the winner of a 7-inch cake choice of chocolate or vanilla from LBD's second-generation Italian bakery, 140 South Main Street. If you don't want to take your chances winning, you could try. But if you don't want to take your chances, well, LBD's is open at 6 a.m. every day. I mean, I don't know anyone who keeps these kind of hours. 6 a.m. every day, right there near Central Square, Bradford, 140 South Main Street. And you can go in and pick up bread, pizza, cookies, pastries, or one of those cakes, pies, desserts, and sweetbreads. So, but take your chances and call in to wish someone a happy birthday or a happy anniversary. And our friends at Kimball Tavern Antiques, beautiful building there where Bradford College was actually founded. Kimball Tavern, corner of Salem and South Main Streets. Here's a trivia question where you could win $10 gift certificate to Kimball Tavern. Haverhill's famous son, one of them, John Greenleaf Whittier, used to frequent 2 New Hampshire towns. Name those 2 towns. Now, chances are he went to quite a few, but we're looking for 2 in particular for John Greenleaf Whittier. So name those 2 New Hampshire towns. And there are 2 locations named after Whittier, at least 2, but name 2 of these locations named after John Greenleaf Whittier in New Hampshire. And you could win $10, same as cash, at Kimball Tavern Antiques. Speaking of winning, let's talk some more about Make Waves. In case you're just joining us or haven't quite caught what we're getting at, Make Waves is the name of the campaign to build the transmitter facilities for WHAV on your FM dial at 97.9. Unlike other radio stations, past and present, with investors who come forward with the cash to build the station, WHAV is now a non-profit corporation, and it's mostly up to the listeners to come up with some of the funds to put the antenna up and the transmitter and run the wires and what have you. And that cost right now is estimated to be about $100,000. And I will tell you that almost half of that has already been spent on lawyers in Washington, D.C. to secure the license for the station. So WHAV at 97.9, hopefully this summer, the signal will reach the seacoast. It is going to be a powerful new voice for Haverhill, and a place where you'll be able to get the news, and people like Gerard Boucher can hear his favorite 1950s and 60s music. So please do what you can to support WHAV's Make Waves campaign for a new FM station. Here's the list of who's contributed so far, and we call this a soft launch. We haven't done the big push yet, just kind of put it out there on the web and see what would come in. And here are the contributors to date: Al Brenner, Jack Roy, Tom Bergeron himself, Jessica Finicaro, Dave Tibbetts, Mark LeMay, Larry Olasky, Elaine Barker, Larry Seaman, Gene Poth, WXBJ Radio of Salisbury, Gerald McCall, Eva Rashnik, not sure I'm ever going to pronounce that correctly, I hope I have, Eva, Mary O'Neill, Attorney Joseph Edwards, Pat Johnson, widow of Edwin V. Johnson, and Carolyn and Charles Russell. And tonight, Stanley Colton. Add your name to the list. Every contribution also comes with a membership to WHAV. You'll receive a bumper sticker, membership card, and email subscription to WHAV publications. All right, we are at the time to take a break this hour. A movie review from a program that we run mostly weekends. It's called Take Two Movie Reviews with Mike Friend. We're going to go to those movie reviews right now. I think this hour is The Kingsman. So we'll hear that and be back with more of the Open Mic Show and your calls.
Open Mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
Try listening to WHAV in your car or anywhere on your mobile phone. For fast access, visit whav.net.
Merrimack Valley Happenings is your weekly guide to economic news and cultural events. It's a quick read about local business, the economy, and higher education. It also features an all-in-one calendar of business, cultural, and recreational events. View Merrimack Valley Happenings online or sign up for a weekly email at merrimackvalley.info.
Catch the wave!
Suspense. A weekly anthology of notable melodramas from stage and screen, fiction and radio, presented every Monday night to bring you to the edge of your chair, to keep you in suspense. Listen to the new Suspense with a company of Hollywood actors and surprising guest stars, Monday nights at 10, with encore performances at 1 a.m., right here on WHAV. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
This is Take Two Movie Review. I'm Mike Friend. This week, Kevin Costner right at home.
Baseball, football. We know Costner loves sports-themed movies and has developed a penchant for socially conscious ones too, like the recent Black or White. His latest, McFarland USA, an adapted true story, combines these two career themes as he plays Jim White, a teacher and football coach who has a hard time keeping a job. Down on his luck, he and the family head to the mostly poor and Hispanic McFarland, California, where he is to be the assistant football coach at the high school. It isn't long before problems start between him and the head coach, resulting in White stepping down. While still a coach, though, he notes the speed and condition of the students, most of whom are agricultural pickers when not in class, and convinces a reluctant principal to let him start a cross-country team. Hollywood loves to shoot in California, especially around their studios, at the beach and in the mountains, but in places like McFarland in the Central Valley, well, not so much. White's daughter says it best on the family's way into town, "Daddy, are we in Mexico?" At first, the students regard him as an alien presence. White is more fearful and defensive than outright prejudiced, but over the course of the film, understanding grows. White, in one striking sequence, accepts a challenge to accompany one of his students' families out to the fields to pick vegetables for a day, and the family slowly realize that the lost wages from their kids' time spent with the team represent the promise of a better life. The young unknown actors who play the team bring an enthusiasm probably not unlike the characters they represent from a generation before to their roles, and along with Costner, make McFarland USA a feel-good experience without the baggage that often accompanies this kind of film. This has been Take Two Movie Review. I'm Mike Friend. Catch up with us at Take2MovieReview.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Take2_Review.
Soft gold favorites. WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Welcome back to the Open Mic Show. This hour of the Open Mic being brought to you by the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council. Smart companies choose the Merrimack Valley. Learn more at merrimackvalley.info. Here's some good news. Essex Heritage and the Buttonwoods Museum is going to have an exclusive guided architectural tour of Rocks Village. That's in Haverhill, one of Haverhill's oldest neighborhoods, in fact, on Saturday, April 11th. Essex Heritage and the Buttonwoods Museum on Saturday, April 11th is going to have an exclusive guided architectural tour of Rocks Village. Now, here's some background. Rocks Village was home to Haverhill's early shipbuilding industry, but has remained largely residential since the late 1700s. As a result, much of the 18th century architecture still stands today. Highlighting new research by historic preservation intern Samantha Krenzer, don't miss your chance to explore the historic architecture of the Rocks Village Historic District. It's listed in the National Register of Historic Places. Now, the event is open to the public, but space is limited and reservations are required. To make your reservation online, you can go to EssexHeritage, one word, .org. EssexHeritage.org. If you don't have web access or just prefer to call, you can call them at 978-740-0444. I'll repeat that in a minute if you want to get your pens and paper ready. Tickets are $8 for Essex Heritage and Buttonwoods Museum members, $10 for non-members, $3 for children under age 17. Ticket purchases directly support Essex Heritage's mission to preserve and enhance the historic, cultural, and natural places of Essex County. All right. I will tell you that Whittier Birthplace is also a member of Essex National Heritage Area, the Buttonwoods Museum, Winnikinny Castle, and so on. So this is a group very much part of our city. All right, here's that phone number again. To request, to make a reservation and to buy a ticket, go to either essexheritage.org or you can call this number, 978-740-0444. Hey, 978, you probably know that part. Just make it easy. 740-0444. All right, then. I believe we have a phone call. You are on the Open Mic Show.
Yeah, I wanted to get in on the action.
All righty.
Hey, so
You went to the game last year, right?
which one?
The softball game between the All-Pro Patriots team and Haverhill Police?
Nah, I don't think so. One of my nephews might have gone. They might. I got a lot of nephews, but anyway. Hey, what's that about? I thought I heard Stan Colton on there.
Stan was on the program.
Oh yeah, what's he
by
all
phone.
about? What's that all about?
Well, actually, he gave WHIV listeners exclusive news that Haverhill School Committee member Paul Magliacchetti is very likely to be admitted to the board of directors of Haverhill Community Television.
Oh, I like that.
And I think that's good news because I will tell you that I went to the Haverhill City Council meeting in the council office. It wasn't broadcast. Last week, I think it was last week, might have been the week before, and Paul Magliacchetti was so knowledgeable about the cable television law, what the rules are, what the regulations are, and has studied this, and he would like to be the Haverhill School Committee's representative to Haverhill Community Television.
Oh, that'd be good for Haverhill.
So, reading between the lines, either he's going to be going on the board a la carte, if you will, or, in fact, maybe they'll be making changes to give the school department its own representative once again.
Anyway, yeah, that sounds like a plan. I've met the man a few times when I was campaigning for Lenny Russo over by the tavern, and Paul stopped in. He's been over the tavern a few times, and, he's well-rounded.
No, he is.
So, anyway, about the Richard Cranton, he's going to have a birthday. Richard, he's an old Groveland guy. His family was from Groveland.
So Richard's his name?
Oil.
Oh, Cranton Oil. Now, wait a minute. Now, there were some Crantons in Haverhill, too.
Yeah, Hartley.
Yes, and what about...
Joanne. His wife is a Joanne?
I'm thinking of the daughter. Now, David Godswood's related to them, and he'll yell at me for dragging him into this. But there were some Crantons on Forest Street in Haverhill.
Oh, there are, yeah, it's Cal Cranton.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're related or not, Cal. I know the boy's still over there. They're my neighbors.
Oh, that's right. You're in that
this way.
neighborhood.
But anyway, Richard's going to be, I think, 68. He might be going to be 69. I'm not sure. So his birthday is on April 12th. I'd like to wish him a happy birthday.
Well, isn't that nice of you? Happy birthday, Richard.
Richard, and also, I got you here. I figured I'd get in it before Jerry.
Oh,
calling.
I think Jerry actually is attending a Methuen City Council meeting tonight.
Oh, well, he'll be on. He'll be ringing you up. He's got some information. But anyway, Kimball Tavern, we're looking for something possibly for the auction for Brian. So how could we...
That's wonderful.
How could we bring it over to the yacht club?
I think that's probably the best idea, between 2 and 6 p.m.
That's what Brother's thinking of right now. We're thinking about dropping something off and...
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Brian seems like a pretty nice guy.
No, and all of WHAV's callers are nice guys.
It would be something that people would, I'm sure, would bid on. You might like it too. We're going to look. We're going to see what might draw some attention. But by the way, while I was talking to Brian, my brother happened to tone in on the other line with me, and he says, "Find out what happened to the clock." Where'd the clock go? You remember the clock? It disappeared.
Which one? From City Hall?
I think it was the yeah.
Now, I might be mistaken, but wasn't the clock face refitted on the library?
maybe. But you know what else disappeared at one time? Was the cannon.
Yeah,
that disappeared.
Then it came back, right?
That's right. I know. That's going to be a trivia because I know where that cannon ended up, and it ended up in Atkinson. But if maybe someday that we'll get that out there if they can tell me where they located it.
I know that's interesting. Yeah, actually, okay. So I think that I don't know that. I don't know why I even think this. I may have heard it along the years, but I think the clock face from Old City Hall didn't that end up at the barn at Winnikinny?
Yeah, maybe that's where it ended up.
But I do think, and David Goswood will know for sure. I think, I believe the plan was to put that on the new library clock tower, not just take the bell from City Hall and put it there, but put the clock there. But I don't know if, in fact, maybe one of our listeners knows if, in fact, the clock face did get returned to the library.
I hope somebody does know that, because I maybe my brother Craig knows. He's the one that chimed in on me. But, I mean, this city is deep and rich in history. Haverhill is.
No, absolutely. And, of course, you heard the comments about the terracotta from the Grad Building was in Rick Swain's attic for years.
Wow.
Got saved and put on the parking deck. And it kind of begs the question, I don't know, these salvage companies sometimes have the right to the property. They, as part of reducing the cost of the demolition that they get to sell these things. So I don't know if that's the case here, but I thought it might be fun to speculate. Where would you, I'm going to ask you, Woody, where would you like to see that terracotta reinstalled if you were king of Haverhill?
Oh, I'll have to think about that. Where would I want it?
It's
a good one. I don't know, really. What do you think?
I don't know. Well, maybe if they could find a place, maybe even in an interior section or common area of the new Harbor Place.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Somewhere downtown by the river.
Yeah. I mean, something that actually reuses it like we did with the Grad Building terracotta. It's actually in use on the parking deck.
I mean, I understand what Brian's talking about, the two buildings, but we still haven't, we've got a lot of riverfront property still. We've got the Cleary Cleaners. We've got where Boxboard is over there. I don't know. Something's supposed to go there. We got where Ornstein's was, right?
Now, we had a story on about the paperboard property, and there's a court battle going on over it.
That's what that is. How about now that you get the property where Friends Landing is? So, I don't understand why
there's someone out there knows this, and so I'm going to just throw it out there for both of us. There is a rumor, and it's pretty strong. Now, if it turns out not to be true, that's problematic. But there is a rumor. I'm going to be careful not to get sued. But there's a rumor that city officials are people on the city payroll are investors in a project at that site.
Wow.
And so,
it's hush-hush.
So I'd like to know if someone wants to give WHAV a news tip on that.
Well,
when you do these LLCs, you don't have to list anyone but the manager. So it'd be interesting to see what the situation is.
There is a lot going on in Haverhill. There's no doubt about it.
All right.
It's been a long time coming.
All right.
We did a lot of damage. Urban renewal. We all know that.
No, and then
it's time people step to the plate and really make Haverhill a city where people want to come, not want to leave.
All right. So is this clock officially a trivia question or no?
Well, no, I'm not sure what happened, but I know I went down to the meeting down at the library a couple of weeks ago for the Hope there about the heroin and everything. And I happened to run into Marcel, and I says, Marcel, I'm surprised you haven't got that trivia. Well, I got this. I says, look, I'm not going to tell you if you're right, but I'm going to give her a part of the answer to the trivia.
Okay,
I'm going to give her a clue.
Okay, a clue.
The two towns are connected by one of these things that's named after Whittier.
The two towns are connected by one of those things.
That's right.
I like that.
So you know the answer to the other one is in one of the towns. So this is connected. What's it called? What is it? And there's a number to it.
So you pretty much have helped someone answer three of the 4 questions.
They got to get the other one.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 here. All right. So here's
I like people to work. And Marcel, come on out. She's going to step to the plate and pick the phone up and.
Well,
right?
She's won so many times, she must own half your store.
I'm putting a challenge out for her tonight to pick the phone up. up. She hasn't called in. I said, Marcel, we miss you down there.
All right. I guess your brother just called in.
Oh, did he?
The clock. I'm not sure I understand the note. Nate's going to have to open up his microphone. The clock was part of the Woolworth building and was taken down by a Haverhill resident 30 years ago.
Hey, it's part of the Woolworth building.
Oh, so he's not talking about the City Hall clock. He's
Well,
talking.
I don't know what to call. Oh, he's talking about the Woolworth clock. That wasn't. You remember the clock in the front of the door?
Yeah, I remember that on the corner.
I don't know. He's probably on the. Maybe he's on the cuckoo juice. I don't know.
Jeez. I don't want to cause a family fight here.
Yeah, well, I'm his older brother.
Oh, all right.
Better snap to it. That's all I got to say. Step in line, dear boy.
Hey, I think we still have prizes for you here from last year. Now they're becoming collector's pieces. Did you ever get your calendar?
Oh, yeah, I'll be over. When are you there?
Most afternoons is safe.
All right. What time? I'm over in North Andover. I get out of there. I leave Lucerne at about 4 o'clock every day.
That is almost a perfect time to find me here because I find I'm out and about with different errands and news tasks during the day. So 4 o'clock is a pretty safe time.
Probably 4 quarter past.
Because I think we get the stuff out there. I mean, you won't be able to look up anything for this year. It's a 2014 calendar.
Oh, that's all right. I save these old calendars, the ones that I keep, and someday I'll put them out, and try to, put it somewhere, and somebody might like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, never know.
I put stuff away, like those baseball cards. We save stuff.
Well, the baseball cards are coming is great for. We had that what I call a slow day a few months back or a few weeks back, and so every caller gets a prize.
Does anybody come in and get them?
Yeah, actually, we have 3, and people who are waiting for them. We are behind. You know what I really could use if anybody wants to help? I could use a volunteer assistant to help me with the mailings.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll figure something out.
Because we do have some prizes here. We have the envelopes, we have the labels. What we haven't had is the time to put it all together, but we will.
We'll work on that.
All right, are you going to take this architectural tour of Rocks Village on April 11th?
April 11th. Yeah, I didn't know what's going on down there.
All right, so Essex Heritage and Buttonwoods Museum, they're going to work together, and they're going to give an exclusive guided architectural tour of Rocks Village.
What day is that on?
Saturday, April 11th.
What time?
Good question.
That would have been my brother Gary's birthday. He passed.
Oh, okay.
He was on the board up there in Portsmouth, the old houses. He was part of that group.
You know what's funny? I could give some advice to. Okay, here it is. 11 a.m. 11 a.m. At 55 East Main Street's where they're going to start.
Wow. Hey, Gary loved Haverhill. He loved the history of this town.
Oh, and then this was a good little story here. The shipbuilding industry pretty much went away in the late 1700s, so it's pretty much the same as it was then.
The shipbuilding.
Yeah, the houses, residential areas, pretty much the same since then.
Some of the carrying timbers, actually in Kimball Tavern, are part of ships.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the carrying beams way up above.
Now, that would have been a great trivia question.
Well, yeah, they dismantled the ships when they came. They didn't sail them back to England. They didn't go back there.
Oh, okay.
A lot of them didn't go back.
So they took the beams and they're in houses.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what Teresa Straw would have to say about that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she's on. Maybe she'll give you a buzz and call in and see what's going on.
Yeah, actually, we should have Teresa call in and give us some news about those bean dinners.
Yeah. Well, they had one, I think, last Saturday. The second Saturday. You missed out again. And this Saturday, I think there's one up in Kensington, the third Saturday. There's one at...
She used to call in and remind Jack, but I guess she doesn't like me as much.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him.
I've been actually communicating with him rather regularly.
So when's he coming up?
I think he'll be here all summer.
Oh, wow.
I mean, nearby, anyway.
All right, I got to go.
All right, thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You too. Take care.
I'm waiting for Marcel.
Community Spotlight is going to go on right after the weather. So you just drag it there. We won't play our intro twice, but we will give an extra plug as a result to our sponsor, the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council. Smart companies choose the Merrimack Valley. All right, local news with News Director Dana Esmol. National news from our network FSN, and then local weather with local meteorologists right here giving us weather specific to the Merrimack Valley. Nate, let's take it away.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. 78374-19. Donation to not-for-profit WHAV. Help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 8:09.
WHAV Merrimack Valley. WHAV is a not-for-profit service of Public Media of New England Incorporated. It's heard on 1640 AM, the web, at whav.net, and participating cable television stations.
Here's what's happening in local news. A so-called Community Choice Power Supply Plan that proposes to lower electricity rates to Haverhill residents by pooling local consumers will go before the Haverhill City Council for a vote on Tuesday night. Also known as an aggregation plan, the proposal, prepared by consultant Colonial Power Group, Inc., Marlborough, and in consultation with the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources, details its organizational structure, operational levels and staffing, funding, rate setting, universal access, and reliability, among other topics. It also describes the process required to create and activate the plan, including approval by the department. Quote, the program is designed to offer competitive choice to eligible consumers and to gain other favorable economic and non-economic terms in service contracts. The city does not buy and resell power, but represents consumer interests to set the terms for service, according to city documents. Quote, through a competitive bid and negotiation process, the city develops a contract with a competitive supplier for firm all requirements service. The contract runs for a fixed term. The process of contract approval contains checks and balances. Once the contract has been negotiated by the city's agent, it must be submitted to the mayor for approval. And lastly, eligible consumers may opt out of the program and select basic service or power supply from any other competitive supplier they wish at any time before or following their enrollment in the city's program. No eligible consumer is required to receive service under the city's contract. End quote. The Haverhill City Council meets at 7 p.m. Tuesday in council chambers at Haverhill City Hall. The former Woolworth building in downtown Haverhill will become all but a memory by later this week, as demolition is well underway to make room for the new Harbor Place development project. According to Haverhill Economic Development and Planning Director William Pillsbury, demolition work on Tuesday and Wednesday will bring traffic restrictions near the site, subject to police department approval. Plans call for Merrimack Street to remain open. However, the right-hand turning lane from Merrimack Street onto the Basileia Bridge will be closed, and the travel lane over the bridge toward Bradford will be shifted one lane away from the building. Quote, traffic in both directions on Merrimack Street will not be shut down, although there will be additional congestion due to the turning lane and bridge lane restrictions. The purpose of these temporary changes are for public safety during the removal of the remainder of the Woolworth building, Pillsbury said. Observers report demolition work to the former Woolworth building began late last week from the rear sections and progressed toward the frontage on White's Corner, the intersection of Merrimack and Main Streets. 2 people face drunk driving charges following separate arrests by Haverhill police over the weekend. Police report Natasha Johnson, 22, of Haverhill, was arrested at 5 a.m. Sunday on a charge of operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. The arrest occurred at 420 Groveland Street. Also, Suzanne Rose, 60, of Haverhill, was arrested at 7:30 p.m. Friday at 795 River Street on a charge of operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. In other police news, Stephen Beal, 47, of Groveland, was arrested by Haverhill police at 10:47 a.m. Sunday at 23 Howard Street. He was charged with operating a motor vehicle after license suspension. Beal was also cited for a brake light violation. With the changing temperatures in March comes pothole season on local streets. Haverhill residents can report local potholes either through a link on the City of Haverhill's website, ci.haverhill.ma.us. Call the Highway Department at 978-374-2364 or send an email to pothole@cityofhaverhill.com. In local high school sports, the Haverhill Hillies preparing for spring baseball season as practice sessions get underway at Trinity Stadium beginning on Monday. For more details, visit whav.net. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source, and it's always free. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Dana Esmel.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. Russian President Vladimir Putin has made his first appearance after more than 10 days of absence. His disappearance from public view after the 5th of March sparked rumors about his health and status both in Russia and abroad. Speaking on state TV, Mr. Putin said life would be boring without gossip, brushing off speculation about his health. Video of the Russian leader meeting in St. Petersburg with President Almazbek Atambayev of Kyrgyzstan was also broadcast. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned his supporters that his party could lose Tuesday's election. The latest opinion polls show Mr. Netanyahu facing a strong challenge from Isaac Herzog, leader of the center-left Labour Party. Ruth Eglash, Jerusalem correspondent for The Washington Post, says the outcome of Tuesday's election is still uncertain.
The Zionist Union, headed by Isaac Herzog and Tzipi Livni, is actually pushing ahead and might win more seats in tomorrow's elections. At the moment, the polls that I'm looking at, I think, which were taken on Friday, show them with about 25 seats and Netanyahu's Likud party with only 22, which in normal terms would mean that the Zionist Union, led by Herzog and Livni, would win. However, they need to win the majority of seats in the 121-seat Knesset, and that's only achieved by forming a coalition.
Talks are underway between U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Iranian Foreign Minister Jawad Zarif in Lausanne, Switzerland, with just over 2 weeks to go before a deadline to reach an agreement over Iran's nuclear program expires. Mr. Kerry says he's hopeful a deal can be reached, but he's made no promises of a breakthrough. Meanwhile, the United States and Cuba are meeting in Havana for talks on restoring diplomatic relations. They're seeking more progress towards an agreement, despite concerns that their differences over Venezuela could impede discussions. Kate Fisher reports from Washington.
This is the third round of talks since US President Obama and President Castro of Cuba announced a push toward normal relations in December. Before agreeing to restore ties, Cuba wants to be removed from the State Department's list of nations that sponsor terrorism, and also to find a bank willing to handle transactions for its diplomatic posts in the United States. Both sides reported progress on these issues after the first two rounds of talks. But last week, the United States declared Cuba's closest ally, Venezuela, a security threat and ordered sanctions against 7 officials from the oil-rich country. Kate Fisher, Washington.
For more of the day's top stories, you can follow us on Twitter at Feature Story or check out our website at featurestorynews.com. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with wave weather. We'll have thickening clouds headed through the night. There could be a rain or snow shower by daybreak, temperatures 30 to 35. Then on Tuesday, a few rain showers in the morning. A little wet snow may mix in. Either way, no accumulation expected. There could be some late day sun, highs near 45. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, a low close to 20. We go into Wednesday with a good deal of sunshine, maybe an isolated flurry. It'll be breezy with a high of 30. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Community Spotlight.
Liarche Arenicon, operator of 3 community homes in the Haverhill area, is having its 7th annual restaurant tasting and auction Tuesday, April 7th at Renaissance Country Club, 377 Canosa Street, from 6 to 8 p.m.
The event includes sampling food from area restaurants, a jazz quartet, and a silent auction. The auction includes goods from services from local businesses, artwork by Miranda Lambert, and concert and Red Sox tickets. To register, call 978-374-6928. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at whav.net or email news@whav.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is Sarah Tizo.
WHAV.
If you want to know what's going on at WHAV, sign up for the free monthly Wavelength newsletter online at whav.net.
Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
This hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by the Merrimack Valley Economic Development Council. Smart companies, choose the Merrimack Valley. Okay, right now, live from Methuen, I told Jerry today that we're going to get him press credentials because he is bringing us quite a bit of news from that city. Jerry, are you there?
I'm here.
All right.
I want to get the birthdays in first.
Oh, let's get the birthdays in first.
Well, we're not going to celebrate April 15th with the IRS, I hope.
Well, I guess it's better to celebrate it on the 15th than the 16th.
Yeah. But anyway, we can celebrate my birthday. I was born April 15th, 1928.
Oh, wow.
87.
Happy birthday, Jerry.
And we can celebrate my daughter's birthday because she was born on April the 15th.
Really?
Yes.
So, my goodness.
And we can celebrate my anniversary, which is also April the 15th.
My goodness. April the 15th is a big day for you.
It's a bases loaded.
Very good. Okay, so we got a threefer there.
Yeah, we got a triple. Yeah.
All right, so Nate has that information.
Getting back to the important things, they passed the contract tonight for the renovation of Nicholson Stadium. 2 contracts, which should total about $4 million. One to a landscape firm that's going to put in the field, and then the other contract, I guess, would be the contract to make the bleachers, repair the bleachers, and make them handicap accessible, and renovate or at least construct the dressing, the clubhouse. So it's a total of approximately $4 million. I'm sure there'll be cost overruns or something like that. I hope not. But in addition to that, it should be done for September or so. And with that field, now the kids that are playing football, because it's probably, I'm sure it's made out of what they call rubber tires, recycled rubber tires. Is that right?
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
Yeah, well, the kids when they get tackled, they'll bounce up and keep running.
Bouncing kids. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. Okay.
But anyway, it's expected to be completed by September. Unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe they forgot there was going to be a graduation this year, so they have to come up with a graduation plan. And they haven't come up with the graduation plan, and it's getting, time is flying. In Latin, they call that tempus fugit. Is that correct? Yeah.
Well, okay, you're going to teach me then. Okay.
Tempus fugit. Time flies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's an interesting question then. Where will graduation?
Something else came up which was very, very, very important. Oh, by the way, the vote was very slim, 5-4.
Really?
5-4 to go out and acquire the services of Pioneer Institute, and what they want to do is look at ways to try on new employees. This is new employees, but you have to take a baby step before you take a big step. I'm sure it's going to be expanded to be looking at, say, consolidation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Things like that. I wish that Pioneer Institute would put together a table of organization for one thing, because Methuen doesn't have one. Second thoughts. The school department does. The school department has the only table of organization that I've seen. Yeah.
It's funny. Well, that's a good point. Way back when, and no one else will remember this, I'm sure, but the best organizational chart for the city of Haverhill government that I ever saw was done by Mayor Lewis C. Burton, former fire chief, who became mayor, and it was a very comprehensive chart with, and again, only people who really get into the details would probably be interested, but there was like division directors and Class B division directors.
You know where the personnel are and what they're doing, et cetera, and you use that on an annual basis to develop your budgets.
Over the years, the whole thing has kind of come apart. I don't really know that there is.
Bad,
But so Methuen is looking at some cost savings with this institute.
Yeah, especially they're focusing on right now. They're focusing on, for an example, instead of a pension, you would get an IRA. Instead of a pension, you'd get an IRA, and then there'd be some kind of a situation where where you would continue to have health care in a probably very small, but you'd be contributing to that too. But I mean, it's a step in the right direction, and I got to commend Joe on it. I mean, he so far he's brought some interesting things before the council, and this was a slim margin, but it passed 5-4.
Who were the four who opposed it?
I didn't even count them.
Okay.
I didn't even identify them. But
now, for our listeners who are not in Methuen, this is a kind of a big controversy. Jerry, correct me if I get any of this wrong, but a rather strong organization supporting athletics.
Yes, MIAC it's called. Yeah, I think it's called MIAC.
And they really put the pressure on to get Nicholson Stadium brought up to the condition that they would like it in.
Yeah.
At first, the money wasn't available. A lot of pressure was brought
to... It still isn't available,
All right, and then...
It'll be available as a result of a bond.
And then, I think, Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, one of your biggest concerns is that there isn't one taxpayer looking at these numbers. In other words,
exactly.
A committee.
Not one one what you call true taxpayer.
I mean, not someone
like
with
me, like me,
Yeah, not someone without a special interest.
Yeah, a special agenda.
So, and that has not changed, I take it.
No, it doesn't. It hasn't changed. No.
All right, but the city council is only giving.
Was made up of some person from the MIAC. The athletic director, Mr. Parry, and Councilor Fountain. And the mayor chose, I think the mayor chose that, or council, maybe the council chose it, but the question is always, when you form one of these things, you probably know what the answer is going to be, so, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, I guess Haverhill is going to be making some money with its stadium, renting it out because of its artificial turf. Do you see revenue potential for Nicholson in Methuen?
I don't know. You'd like to see contracts in hand, wouldn't you? You don't go to the bank and borrow money with some kind of equity. And if business goes in and borrows, you got to show what the revenues are. You don't say it's not like a wish list, is it?
Now I see what you're saying. So in other words, this is kind of. I'll leave out one of the words, something backwards.
Yeah.
So they all right, so they're going to spend the money and then figure out how to pay it back later.
I liked Daniel Grayton's plan. Phase things out, and the field would be last. That way, That way there would be no problem with having the graduation this year at Nicholson Field. As it is now, these kids have been bounced around for the last 2 years with enlarged classes and moving to different schools, and now they can't even graduate on their own, their own turf that a lot of them been playing on for years. So that's it. But the other thing also was we have a new DPW director. His name is Bauer. He's one of two professional engineers in the administration. The other one is a teacher, principal. She's a female. She and Mr. Bauer are the only, to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. They're the only two people in the administration that has a professional engineer's certification.
Is there also a city engineer of any kind?
He is a city engineer.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, he is the city engineer, and his name is Bauer, and he comes from good credentials, and he came up with his CIP, a construction plan,
All right.
capital, his capital spending plan, and basically it's a takeoff. Remember when Massachusetts got all this money? If you had a shovel-ready project.
Shovel-ready project is part of a government.
You did what's called a wish list.
President Obama's stimulus package.
Yeah, you had a wish list, and what you do was you prioritize the projects, and so he's come up with I'd say it's a long-term plan with priorities, and to repair streets, potholes, you name it. To do all the things that have been neglected for so many years.
Well, I think it's a good idea, and I know people have been talking about that. Councilor Mitchison in Haverhill has talked about a long-term plan, so that we know, like the old utilities used to know, that we're going to replace this street on this year.
Yeah, or like National Grid, we're going to trim the trees that are hanging over. Yeah, it didn't happen until Martha Coakley took them more or less to court, correct?
That's right. I'm afraid.
What was the fine?
Yeah,
over $500,000.
Yeah, there was a big fine for that. I'm afraid, Jerry, we are out of time, and we've already been pulled off.
I was waiting, but
I know we had so much news. I'm sorry about that.
And send my baseball cards.
I know. I was just I was soliciting earlier on the program.
I know it. I heard.
For a volunteer.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you, Jerry, for that report. We're going to get you some press credentials.
Oh, maybe I can get into that game with the press credentials, huh?
Oh, you never know. Never know.
You never know.
All right.
Give it to somebody who's worthy.
Well, I think you do a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. All right, that'll do it for the Open Mic Show, those of you who are still with us. Next week, we'll have some probably a little more exciting agenda, but we appreciate all of those who participated. We hope to see you at Brian Langlois' Relief Fund event at the Crescent Yacht Club this Saturday afternoon. Until next week, and by the way, I'm going to keep this going while Nate gets more and more nervous because his wife is waiting for him. But until next week, we'll see you on the Open Mic Show.
Open Mic!
Join Tim Coco live on the Open Mic again next Monday night at 6:30. The opinions expressed on the Open Mic Show are not necessarily those of WHAV, its underwriters, or affiliated stations. The Open Mic Show came to you from the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom.
It's 8:32.